Ain't no such thing as halfway crooks. Scared to death and scared to look, they're shook. Buff Nation, what up? BWB, my bandwagon buffs. What it is, what it does, and what it's gonna be. It's your man's Harry Billion. Family, what up? So I got it off my chest. Please hit the subscribe button. You know what time it is. Let's work. All right, so let me take my hat off for this one. Now that I got all that stuff off my chest, I feel a little lighter. I feel like I should just do this one without my hat. The hat is off. Let's go. Family, TLP club members. I'm a servant. Harry Billion. I am a servant of this community. I'm always thinking of new ways to serve this community a lot better. We obviously get a lot of Buffalo's Coach Prime information. They're all over the place, coming from different channels and different creators. So when I create a video on this channel with all of the information that we get weekly, I'm going to streamline it, make it easier and much cleaner for you to navigate all of this massive information that we get every single day, every single week. When you go to the TLP Sports Club YouTube channel, I'm creating playlists to categorize all of this information that you're getting. Some people are voicing concerns in the comments. This is what we're going to do. Go to the TLP Sports Club YouTube channel. On the channel that says Buffs Recruits. On that playlist, when I do a video about any prospects that the sports writers link to Coach Prime and the Buffaloes, any high school student, any transfer portal transfer, any player that is being linked to the Buffs, go to that playlist and you'll see them there. Those news that are much bigger are going to be titled Breaking News, are all going to go in a playlist called Breaking News. And then there's the daily news, the news that is not necessarily breaking news, but it's just daily happenings, important enough to bring to you from the Buffaloes and the Coach Prime camp. That information, that daily information that you're interested in is going to be in the TLP Daily Tracker. That's already on the site. I'm going to track the 5 most important daily stuff that happen. I'm going to track that in one video and put that on the TLP Daily Tracker. And family, I'm going to be adding some inspirational videos to this channel. Coach Prime is obviously an inspirational person. Just like the young men that he's inspiring, Coach Prime also inspires us. So I'm going to be adding some inspirational videos. I'm going to be breaking down some of the inspirational things that Coach Prime does to inspire the community. Some of us can use that to inspire our kids, to inspire young people that we're coaching, young people that we're mentoring, to just inspire the whole community. I'm going to put a playlist on the channel, and that playlist is going to be called The Coach Prime Effect, Winning Like Coach Prime. And then finally, guys, I'm creating a Path to Victory series as we get closer and closer to the main thing. Every campaign needs a path to victory, whether it's a political campaign or a campaign like ours, which is to get to the chip. Our campaign to get to the chip requires a path to victory, where you chart out a course, a direct course for the constituents to see. You let the constituents know. We got this state, we got that state, but we need a path, a direct path to victory. I'll put those videos in that playlist. So this is my attempt to make sure that the community is well served, to make sure that the community is not inundated and flustered with information all over the place. Hopefully this is helpful. We're doing the first video on the path to victory today. So with that being said, family, let's work. All right, guys, please make sure to hit that subscribe button if this information is helping you. Here we go. All right, so this article is written by Matt Wale. The Pac-12 has a ton of football teams that can make a run at the conference title next season in what will be the last before USC and UCLA go to the Big 10. The Colorado Buffaloes made the biggest splash of the offseason by bringing in Deion Sanders and a ton of talent. On the other hand, Cam Rising is back in Utah. Bo Nix returned to Oregon, and Michael P. Nix Jr. is at Washington again. Oh, and Heisman Trophy winner Caleb Williams is back with a talented USC team. Here are a few burning questions for each Pac-12 team, according to Chris Hummer of 247Sports. These questions are going to give us more insight to each team, and it's going to help us on our way to victory. The first question that we have is the USC's front 7. USC's offense is loaded, but the biggest question is its defense. Adding Mason Cobb helps, but the defense will make or break the season. So I haven't really looked into it, but USC has an issue on defense. So their offense is loaded. So that means they have great running backs. Their O-line is stacked. They got some beefy guys on that O-line. They got some 300-plus pounders, some really big grown men on that line, and they're going to be ready to push that defense back. That's what that's telling me. Miami, and they have great wide receivers. So puts questions in my mind to go back to the roster. What does our O-line look like? We got some stocky dudes on that O-line, but that's always been a question with the club members. Our pros have questions about our O-line. They're like, look, we need more help on that O-line. So that's a question for us too that we got to look at. So if they're stacked up on offense, they're not just looking at their wide receivers. They're not just looking at their Jimmy Horn Juniors, their Travis Hunters, who plays both ways for wide receiver. They're not just looking at those guys. So as the time get a little closer, we're going to be digging more into the O-line. I'm going to have to compare how does our O-line stack up with their O-line. If they're stacked up on offense, it's not just about their O-line. Offense, you got the quarterback. We got Shador. They got great wide receivers. They don't just have the starting lineup, their depth chart. They're bench players. They're secondary players, people who are waiting to play. That means even their red shirts are great. So we got to look at that. I know that we have a great offense. Our offense is looking nice. There's been some question about Kavasier Smoke, our running back. Kavasier Smoke going to join us in the summertime. Offense win games, but defense wins championships. So if they get lucky and they're able to run the score up and win some very important games, if they get to that chip game and they don't have a nice defense, they're going to be looking like TCU at the end of the day. If for whatever reason they happen to make it to a really important bowl game, or they happen to make it to the national championship game, what that's telling me is that their defense is not going to be able to hold up. Let's move on to the next one. All right, so we got Washington, and the question is their secondary. Washington's offense is also loaded, but the bigger question is, again, its defense, especially in the secondary. Oh, man. What's going on, Pac-12? This is 2 out of 2 now for defense. So is this an indictment on the Pac-12? 2 for 2 for the Pac-12 having a weak defense. Offense wins games, defense wins championships. Could this be an indictment that the Pac-12 teams don't know how to recruit defense? I don't know too much about our defense. I know the guys we have on defense, but I don't know too much about them. I don't know how great our defense is either. I can't really speak confidently, oh yes, our defense is that great. I have data on Shador because I've seen him play, on Travis Hunter because I've seen him play. That's information that can help me to make some type of judgment in my head. But some of you out there have seen some of these players play. You can help me and you can help the community in the comments. You've seen some of these players play. You can tell us, hey, in the comments, yeah, this guy's sauce. They're heaping a lot of praise on him, because the media can do that. He talks really well, so they just happen to just heap praise on him. You put him against somebody like Kavasier Smoke, and it's a problem. You don't want none of that smoke. We know how the media can be. We don't want to be delusional here. We don't want to be that delusional crowd. So we're 2 for 2 in the Pac-12 being weak on defense. 2 teams weak on defense. So we all got great offenses. We can definitely catch the ball. We can run the ball. We can do all of that. But when it comes to stopping the ball, we can't do that. You can score, but what if they can score too and they can stop you? That's not a good thing. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Oregon, inside linebacker core. That's the question for them. Why is it a question for them? Let's find out. The Ducks' loss of Noah Sewell is a massive one, and they will need to replace him. Having Bolton Nix back at QB or quarterback helps the offense not miss a beat. However, so they're having issues with the inside linebacker. Sean Lewis said that we're going to be focused on the run. When you're focused on the run, that's to help to set up your pass game. I know we had a question. I did a video that I haven't edited yet talking about all of this, but I just wanted to sneak some of that information in this video. Someone had a question about Sean Lewis's scheme of trying to run the ball. You want to establish the run first because then it helps make the pass easier. Once they start to commit to the ball, once they start cheating in to cover that run, boom. Here comes Shador. Bada boom, bada bang. Don't play with me. Holler at your boy when you see him dancing in the end zone. Don't disrespect me trying to sneak in and cover the run. You heard? Me and my wife love those videos. The inside linebackers, they fill the gaps and they try to stop the run. That's their primary job. If they don't have a good inside linebacker core, what that means to our path to victory when we're trying to focus on the run, that means if we get Kavasier Smoke and we get some other really good running backs, we may give them a problem because they don't really have a good inside linebacker core. When we play Oregon, Sean Lewis is going to know how to exploit that inside linebacker lack or the question that they have on their inside linebacker core. That's why the run game is important. So that's something to take away on the path to victory. They better work on that inside linebacker. Don't watch this video and go try to work on your inside linebacker. Hey, Oregon coach, Oregon people, do not watch this video. I'm not talking about y'all. I hope y'all don't read this article from the buffaloswire.usatoday.com. You didn't see this article. None of y'all saw this article. We're the only one that's allowed to see this article right here. Don't look at this article. Don't answer any of these questions. Stay the way you are. Only us. Don't fix nothing. You're perfect the way you are. All right, so the next one we got is Utah. Health of Cam Rising. Cam Rising is lacking some yeast. All right, so Cam Rising, yeast, rise. Anyway, so y'all get it, right? Cam Rising suffered a torn ACL in the Rose Bowl, but decided to forego the NFL for one more year. The biggest questions are, when will he return and how good will he be? How long ago was the Rose Bowl? How bad was the tear? We have to understand that. Those are information that you have to go through, because I know about torn ACLs because Kevin Durant, his ACL is being torn. And I've tracked Kevin Durant's torn ACL stories through the NBA. If it's a mobile quarterback, then we have to think about the torn ACL a lot. There on your screen, Penn State beat the Utah Utes 35-21 on January 2nd of 2023. Just a little bit of investigative work. I'm recording this video March 13th. From January 2nd to March 13th, 2023, he's not healed. That's for sure. I'm not a doctor, but what I've learned from following athletes and ACL story and, oh, this person tore their ACL, they're going to be out for this amount of time, it's not enough. He's still limping. Something's still going on with that ACL. Spring is now here. He's got to start practicing and all of those things. So that means the backup is probably taking more of the reps. They got to start preparing that backup. That's an advantage for us if they have to play their backup quarterback. That's a good look for us for our road to victory. All right, so let's move on to the next one. The next one is Oregon State. Oregon State has DJ Uiagalelei. The Beavers fare well by landing former Clemson quarterback DJ Uiagalelei in the transfer portal. Can he play as he did at Clemson, though? The digging would be, why would he not be able to play as he did at Clemson? His O-line has to be able to protect him as they did at Clemson. Who's on his O-line? You see what I'm saying? So if I was doing one of these documentaries, so then I would look at his O-line, I would go to the O-line and say who he got there. Who did Clemson have on their O-line? How beefy were they? How strong were they? That's the homework that I would do and bring you that video, but I haven't done that. On the Path to Victory videos, when you go to that playlist, yes, you're going to be seeing some of this stuff. I'm going to be digging on stuff like that. Some investigative questions are going to come up. If we have a question like that for DJ, if he did well at Clemson. Clemson is a very nice program. My boy played for Clemson. He plays soccer for Clemson. I know how nice they are. I've been on their campus. I've been in those dorms. They get some serious equipment. So I know how Clemson is. What was the situation that led to him playing well there? Was it the relationship with the coach? Was it the relationship with his running back, his O-line, his everything? What was the environment? What was the thing that made him successful at Clemson? Everything matters. If you don't get along with the people in that locker room, those are the things that I'll be thinking about. How is he getting along with his new team? And if it was so good, another question arises. If everything was so fine and dandy and he was so nice, what made him jump into that transfer portal? That's a serious question that needs to be asked. We can't look down upon the transfer portal, right? We can't just look at it. We can't look at the transfer portal as just in our favor, because we do have a quarterback from the transfer portal in Shedeur Sanders. We know his situation, though. We don't know their situation. We know Travis Hunter's situation from the transfer portal. So those are things that I will investigate. What was the culture there? Was it a winning culture? I would definitely have to look into that. Because he had to jump into the transfer portal is not enough. What that tells me is he has a little bit of an edge. He's edgy, all right? He's that guy that Coach Prime was talking about. An edge gives you a little bit of wind. It gives you a little bit of motivation to play harder. If you're not happy and you leave a coach, leave a program, that gives you motivation to want to prove to those people, you didn't want me, I left, and I'm going to prove to you that I can play. I'm not no sucker. I'm not going to come over here and you think that I'm going to lose. You think that I'm going to not do well. I have an edge, and I'm going to play with that edge. Any Clemson people, anybody's watching this video and you a Clemson person, you like Coach Prime, and you know about this story, go to the comments and let us know, why did he leave? Give me more insight so that I can crunch the data for us. For whatever reason he left, it could be a small distraction also. That's another way of looking at it. That's a different perspective there to look at. He could be feeling something that may distract him. He may overreach a little bit because he's trying so hard, like he's not settled. He may try a little too hard to prove something. It's good, but it could be just a slight bad, because those guys with an edge, there is a little bit of price to be paid for that edge. As I told you in another story, somewhere that edge, you're going to have to pay for that edge. A good quarterback's a good quarterback. What are the elements around that quarterback? I know our elements, I just don't know their elements. We're moving on, guys. The UCLA's quarterback situation. What's going on with their quarterbacks? We're not having no quarterback drama. I know that the guys from the Denver podcast, they say on their podcast, we do need to get somebody more experienced as a backup for Shedeur. They said that. They covered this thing 360. If they say that we need to get more experience, then that means that the locker room that we have, the people we have on the roster are not sufficient. That's not enough for us. So if that's not enough, then why is it not enough? Because how many snaps did the backups take? Why is Ryan Stubb and all these other people, why are they not enough? They didn't take enough snaps. They didn't do certain things. 5-star quarterback Dante Moore is electric, but Kent State quarterback Colin Slee would win the starting job as well. Whoever gets the job has big shoes to fill after the loss of Dorian Thompson-Robinson. So they got a transfer from Kent State in Colin Slee. Colin Slee is a better quarterback than the 5-star that they have in Dante Moore. They got a quarterback controversy. It seems like the quarterback controversy that they're having is good on both sides, because you have a 5-star, but the 5-star is not going to win out the job. The 5-star is going to lose his job to the Schlee guy who's coming from Kent State. And they got big shoes to fill from... They got a good problem. Stop playing with me. If you beat out a 5-star, this is a 5-star quarterback. I mean, the stars don't get bigger than that. So if you're beating out a 5-star, you got a good situation. I don't see that as a problem. I would want to have those problems. On the road to victory, their quarterback situation is fair in their favor. We'll just have to play them straight up. I don't see no advantage or disadvantage on that end. That's not really a controversy. All right, they just got to figure it out. They're going to figure that out. That's not a big deal, guys. Let's move on. All right, the next one we got, guys, is Washington State, the passing game. Washington State lost both its OC and their DC this offseason, and Cam Ward needs to take a step forward if the Cougars want to make another bowl game. So they lost their defensive coordinator and they lost their offensive coordinator. You lost your defensive coordinator, you lost your offensive coordinator. That's both of them, right? Did I miss something? They lost both of them? They lost the defense and the offense. That's not good. I mean, it's not like they can't get a Sal, right? I mean, everybody can get a Sal. Just call Sal. Why not? I used to be a really big Breaking Bad fan. I don't know why I didn't make the connection of Breaking Bad and Sal. I didn't make that connection in any of my videos, and it just dawned on me, just called Sal, and now I'm thinking about Breaking Bad. Really? My thumbnail could have been that daggone truck. Are you serious? I could have put that daggone truck on the thumbnail, just called Sal. Come on now. All right, so I lost an opportunity there. I'm not going to miss the next one. I promise you. Let's unpack that just a little bit. Who are they replacing that with? If I knew that information, then I can make a better assessment. I wish the Colorado Buffaloes, I wish Matt would have gave me information about who is replacing them, then I would have been better equipped to give you some type of road to victory analysis. We're not delusional here, guys. We're not, this is not a delusional analysis, some type of aloof analysis to just be like, oh yeah, we're gonna beat them because they don't have an OC. They don't have thousands of people that will line up for those jobs from the college and the NFL ranks. There are coaches that are in retirement. There are coaches that are bored. There are coaches that are coming out of jobs that need jobs. Sometimes the NFL coaches that have just been fired, they need jobs too. They need a way to feed their family. So they're going to be available. They're going to be out there. Their contact information is going to be on message boards. Everybody in that whole arena is going to have that contact information. And I mean, there's nothing here. Nothing to see over here. Let's move on. All right. The next one we're going to is Arizona. Arizona is rushing defense. Okay. This one is good. Rushing defense. What did they say about rushing defense? Jaden, Delora, and the Wildcats offense were surprisingly decent. However, Arizona needs to stop the run if they want to make a bowl game. Former Oregon Duck Justin Flo show help in that department. So again, if they can't stop the run, if they cannot stop the run, that's going to be a problem for them. All right? Because we're coming with that run. We are really focused on run. Sean Lewis is focused on the run. When Sean Lewis is watching tape, when he's doing his preparation for the games, he's going to know that. They have data. We have resources that gives us data on these teams. There's data that I'm not even privy to that if I saw, I would be like fawning over. I would be like salivating over this data. So Justin Flo is going to provide some type of insurance to stop that run defense. You see what I did there? Flo, insurance. That's progressive. Okay. Yeah, they got to stop the run. If they can't stop the run, we're going to exploit them. So on this right here for Arizona, I would say it's not a big issue. Nah, these are just like minor things to give us a little bit of glimpse into the other team. These are not major exploits that we can look at and be like, oh yeah, this is a reason why we're going to win. No. That's not happening. I need more data to be able to do this type of thing. I need the kind of data that those coaches have on their pieces of paper. They have a research team that's providing them data that they're using to track these teams. If I had that kind of data and that kind of resource, boy, the content on this channel would be something lit, bro. I'm telling you. Okay, let's move on. That's not a big deal. Cal, the offensive line. All right, Cal, what's happening with your offensive line? The Bears brought in TCU quarterback Sam Jackson V. The O-line returns 4 of 5 starters, and they need to improve to have a chance of winning a few games. Wait a minute. A chance of winning a few games? When the quarterback situation is not stable, there's no way a team wins. Like your quarterback is your leader. Your quarterback is the leader of men. This is the person that needs to be the smartest person on the field. He needs to be able to read the defense. He needs to be able to be comfortable enough to lead other men, and they got to be comfortable in their own skin. And what I see Shador, he's not too up, he's not too down. When I see the interaction, I'm looking at Shador. I'm looking at when he's talking to his brothers. The one thing that I realized about him and his brothers and them, they don't really get too excited. They don't really get too low. You know what I'm saying? It's always like even kill. When you look at Deion Sanders Jr.'s 247 interview, he's real calm. He's real confident. Their dad is doing a great job with instilling some confidence in them so they understand, who they are. They understand they can handle themselves. When I see Shador, I see the confidence in him. You know what I'm saying? He's real confident in what he knows. The Celebration Bowl, his dad was trying to give him some instructions. Game is on the line. You already know the game is down to the wire. Like, you need to do something. And his dad was about to tell him, he's like, yo, Pops, chill, homie. I got this. Like, bro, you already raised me. Like, already. I got this. Just relax. That's how God trusts some of us. At times when you don't hear God's voice, oh God, I can't hear you. God's like, yo, I already gave you the answer. I trust that you're going to do the right thing here. I'm not worried about you. Be confident, have faith, and just go do what you do. So son is like, yo, trust me, Dad, I got this. And he went and scored a touchdown with Travis Hunter. We don't have a quarterback situation. I'm very confident in the quarterback that we have in Shador Sanders. We have Arizona State, the Arizona State Sun Devils. So the Arizona State Sun Devils have Dillingham, and Dillingham is a new coach. He's a new addition. Coach Prime is a new addition. They both have chips on their shoulders. Coach Prime is the media darling. Dillingham is the new coach over there. And he's like, man, Deion, Coach Prime, Sanders, I don't care how many people love you. I love you myself, but you ain't about to come beat me. No, sir. Not today. Not today. What's the issue? The roster construction. Whenever a new coach comes in, there's always a ton of roster turnover. And that has been the case for the Sun Devils. How quickly can this roster gel? Okay, so I haven't read ours yet, but that should be the same thing to say about us. Whenever a new coach comes in, the roster construction. So that's like us. If that's their question, then that's our question. Because we have a new coach. We have a whole new system. We have everything is different. Everything is new. I don't know what it would have said about us. Nothing to see here. We're moving on. We have Stanford, and their situation is that they're too smart. No, their offense. So their offense is the question. What's the question? David Shaw walked away, and the Cardinal hired former SAC. David Shaw walked away? What? David Shaw, why you walk away? What do you mean walk away? He's walk away. Like, I'm done. That's weird. Remember, their name is Cardinal. Their name is the Cardinal, and that color that you see, that red-looking color, that burgundy-looking color, that's the Cardinal. Basically, their nickname. But the Cardinal is singular. So when you're referring to them, it's not the Cardinals. It's the Cardinal. All right, so David Shaw walked away, and the Cardinal hired former SAC State head coach Troy Taylor. The offense needs a massive overhaul. We were already projected to beat the Cardinal. So if we were projected to beat the Cardinal, this is one of the reasons. This is some of the reasons why. Obviously, our offense needs a major overhaul. We got a new coach and all of that, so it doesn't say much, but their situation looks to be a little bit more dire than our situation. So I would say definitely this is a win for us on our road to victory series. If we lose, we only lost because we were not prepared. We're going to put on the field a better team, but the intangibles we cannot calculate. So you can't just say, hey, we're going to win because they don't have Taylor, the new head coach Taylor. I don't know that he's just going to come in there, go to sleep. He's coming in there, got some chips on his shoulder too. He's trying to prove a lot as well. But we will have the better team overall on offense and defense. We will definitely have the better team on paper, and we should win this game. We're moving right along. All right, now we are finally on the Colorado, the Buffaloes. The question that we have is transfers. 247 Sports has us questioning our transfer. All right, 247 Sports, you better come correct. You mess with the Buffs, you mess with me. Okay, Vinny, just call Sal. The Buffs have crushed the transfer portal so far this offseason. As such, the question is, how much will these transfers make a difference? So here's what Hummer wrote. So it seems like Hummer wrote a whole lot about us than he wrote about the other people. Maybe the Buffalo's wire is taking whatever 247 wrote extensively and kind of like, making it small for the other teams, and then kind of like, because they're covering us, they're kind of giving us more shine or more insight, I guess. What would the Power Fives worst defense, which gave up 7.2 yards per play last year, look like with an infusion of talent via the transfer portal and high school ranks, it will be better. But whether that unit can even be average would determine if the Colorado Bowl hype is legitimate. The secondary figures to be considerably better. Travis Hunter and Cormani McLean are the most talented cornerback duo in the country, even if they're young. The Buffaloes also added starting quality pieces like Kendrick Breelove, Ole Miss, Miles Slusher, Arkansas, and Tavion Beasley from Jackson State to help the DB room. You can say the same about Colorado's entire defense, frankly. The Buffaloes upgraded everywhere. But can a starting unit made up almost entirely of transfers and high school players come together quickly enough for this unit to be ready for a brutal non-conference schedule and a loaded Pac-12 schedule? We'll see. So because we're not delusional on this channel or in this community, the people who follow Coach Prime, the BWBs, Buff Nation, we're not delusional. We may be a little biased because we love our guys. We have a lot of stats. We have information. We bring real information. We do real analysis. Always rely on information. Real information to inform us, to let the base know. Faith without works is dead. We're doing the work. We have faith that we're going to win. That's already in our head. When you're believing that something's going to happen, you don't think about the obstacles. You just think about the end result. We already know that. We got that from Napoleon Hill. So we're always thinking about winning, like Coach Prime. Coach Prime in his frontal lobe, this is, I don't know how real this is, but if you look on the inside of his, the forehead, the skin, if you peel it back and look on the inside, it says win and win now. That's in there. So we know that that's there. He's believing that we're going to get here. I almost know, without a shadow of doubt, that Coach Prime wants to win a chip this year. I'm telling you, in that man's head, I promise you that in that man's head, even though it's not as realistic, a lot of us are thinking this is not realistic. Believe you me, that in Coach Prime's head, somewhere in there, he's believing that he's going to be at the national championship game this year. He's believing that. He's not going to say that in public. But if you and I know how this God believes, we know that Coach Prime is believing that he's going to show up at that national championship game this year. I'm just putting it out there. I'm just telling you, I'm just trying to give you an inkling of the type of person that we're dealing with when it comes to Coach Prime. I made an inspirational video, which I'm going to release shortly after I release this video, about the mindset. Just in case I don't have enough juice in that video and I don't want to put it out, let me give you this little tidbit of information. Just context. I'm giving you some information about how Coach Prime believes. Some context. On one of those videos, I said a prayer for Jace Feely because he was having heart surgery. And at the end of that prayer, I said, we're not going to worry because if you're going to pray, don't worry. But if you're going to worry, then don't worry about praying. Don't pray. If you're going to worry, don't pray. People said they appreciated that prayer. That's cool. But there's one person that said, I'm not coming for you. I'm not coming against you. They said, hey, young man, I like the prayer, but let me tweak that a little bit. If I was to tweak it, this is what I would say. If you're going to pray, don't worry. But if you're going to worry, then pray more. I thought that sounded pretty nice. And I was like, you know what? That sounds pretty good. I was about to adopt that thought, and I let it live a little bit. But then today, on Monday, this is the end of the video, and it's about 10:21 p.m. on Monday. So this video is going to probably come out on Tuesday. Mondays, me and my wife, we try to have devotion. In our devotion, I got a revelation. And the revelation was, if you're going to pray, don't worry. And if you're going to worry, don't pray. But if you're going to pray, don't worry. If you're going to worry, pray more. If you say, if you're going to worry, pray more, you're leaving a little room for doubt and a little room for failure. You're thinking that people are going to worry anyway. Remember, I don't want you to take this the wrong way. If you are watching this video, you were the one that wrote that quote. Don't take this the wrong way, okay? I was rocking with you. I was rocking with it. I thought it sounded pretty nice, and it still does to me. But this is my revelation that I got. And it's not anything against you. It's just that I got a revelation. And when I get those revelations, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. You thought I was finished? You're leaving room for doubt. When you believe in something or you're believing for something, you should leave no room for doubt. Zero room. Don't leave any room for doubt. Or you're going to worry just a little bit, so just keep praying. No. There cannot be any room for doubt in your system anywhere if you are believing for something. Coach Prime does not leave room to think, maybe we may not win this game. Maybe we may. There's no way. That's why the quote is as definite. It's like almost thinking that I may not get there because I've been disappointed in life. I have been disappointed before. So if I'm going to worry, I'm just going to keep praying. Nope. Because when you leave that room for doubt in your head, that means you don't believe the thing you're praying is going to happen. Whenever you leave room for doubt in your head, that means you're not really believing for that thing to happen. That means you're more like you're protecting yourself. You're leaving a little bit of shelter because you've been hurt before. And I want people to listen to this because it could be this kind of thinking that we subscribe to that keeps us in situations that we want to get out of. It could be this kind of thinking that we subscribe to that keeps us in the hood. This kind of thinking that we subscribe to that keeps us from bettering ourselves. If you're going to worry, keep praying. It sounds really good because obviously keep praying sounds good. You want to pray more, of course, but you're leaving room for doubt. You can't leave no room for doubt when you're looking for a chip. When you're going to go undefeated, you can't have no room for doubt. I might release the video. I don't know yet. If I decide to release the video, I'll release the video and you'll see what I'm talking about. But in that video, I quoted Mobb Deep in their infamous song, Shook Ones, where they say, the mob comes equipped for warfare. When you come equipped for warfare, you're not leaving no doubt in your head that you about to win. You fighting not against flesh and blood, but against things in the dark places, wickedness, evilness. So when you come equipped for war, you're not coming with a little bit of doubt in your head that you may need to keep praying just a little bit because you're worried a little bit. If you're praying and you're worried just a little bit, that means you shook. There ain't no such thing as halfway crooks. Scared to death and scared to look, they're shook. Ain't no such thing as halfway crooks. Scared to death, they're scared to look, they're shook. Ain't no such thing as halfway crooks. Ain't no such thing as a halfway believer. You come prepared for warfare. When you're praying, when you're believing for something, for a chip, for a championship, you come prepared for warfare. You don't come shook. You don't come halfway believing. You're going to believe the whole way through. You're going to see that play the whole way through. Even if you think the guy is down, you're going to run through that play all the way through. When you're praying, you don't leave no room for doubt. Never, ever leave any room for doubt when you're praying and you're believing in God the Almighty. How are you believing in God the Almighty, but you're going to worry just a little bit? That means you shook, son. And ain't no such thing as a halfway crook. Scared to death, you scared to look, you shook. David was not shook. The mob came ready for war. David said, I don't even need this heavy stuff. Get that off of me. I'm good. I'm going to defeat you, Goliath. There was no worry in David's brain. He wasn't no shook one. He understood his mission. And when he prayed, he wasn't worried. And if he was worried, he wasn't going to be worrying about praying. Buff Nation, that's all I got for you today. Without a hat, last time I ain't having no hat on. Now you know what my face look like. Anytime you forget, come back to this video and see my face in my Spanish voice. Hey, my friends, that right there was the Liberian Perspective TLP Sports Club.